It was a lazy Sunday afternoon, the kind where the sun hangs low and the air smells of fresh-cut grass. I was in my garage, sorting wrenches and polishing my tools, when a sickening crunch shattered the quiet. My stomach dropped. That sound metal on metal was every gearhead's nightmare. I bolted outside, heart pounding, and there it was, my Ducati monster, my pride and joy, sprawled across my driveway like a wounded animal. Smoke curled from its mangled tailpipe, and its cherry-red paint, polished to a mirror shine, was scarred beyond repair. Towering over the wreckage was a gleaming white Range Rover, engine purring, with Susan Mitchell whispering Pine's self-appointed queen gripping the wheel. Her manicured nails glinted as she lowered her window, just enough to sneer, "I told you not to park that thing on my street." Susan, or Karen, as the neighborhood whispered behind her back, was the HOA president and a force of nature. Her jaw was set, her eyes cold with that smug righteousness I'd come to loathe at every community meeting. Neighbors started poking their heads out, phones already recording, but Susan didn't flinch. "That bike's an eyesore," she declared, her voice dripping with contempt. "Whispering Pines has standards, and your little toy VY OLATs them." I clenched my fists, forcing myself to breathe. The damage was brutal. The custom exhaust was toast, the rear wheel bent like a pretzel, and scratches marred the frame I'd spent years perfecting. "You know this is a crime, right?" I managed my voice tight. Susan just scoffed, adjusting her designer shades. "It's not a crime to enforce rules. Consider this your final warning." With that, she reversed her SUV, we VYing around my ruined Ducati like it was roadkill, and drove off. I'd only been in Whispering Pines 3 months, drawn by its tidy lawns and prime location. As a mechanical engineer, I live for high-performance machines, and that Ducati was more than a bike height was my obsession. I'd rebuilt it from a rusty heap, pouring countless nights into every bolt and curve. It was street legal, registered, and always parked neatly in my driveway. But Susan had it out for me from day one. She'd shown up a week after I moved in, clutching a binder thicker than a phone book. "Community guidelines," she'd said, her smile as warm as a winter dish. Her eyes lingered on my Ducati, parked proudly out front. "Most residents prefer not to flaunt loud vehicles where guests can see." I nodded politely, but I wasn't about to hide my bike. Big mistake. Susan's crusade started small notes taped to my handlebars. "Motorcycles create a dangerous VYB," one read. Another claimed, "Unsightly vehicles tank property values by 15 fan tram." I'm pretty sure she pulled that number out of thin air. I kept every note, sensing trouble brewing. Then came the noise complaints. Susan filed them with the HOA, claiming my bike was too loud, even though I'd installed a legal, low-decibel exhaust. At a board meeting, I showed up with decibel readings to prove it. Susan waved them off. "Numbers can be fudged," she smirked. "Residents are upset." When I asked who, she cited confidentiality. Yeah, right? Things got uglier when I woke up to find all 4 tires on my car flat, a note under the wiper, "Last chance. The bike goes, or else." I reported it to the HOA, but Susan, queen of the board, buried it. "No EVY Denke," she said. She started parking her Range Rover at the edge of her driveway, right across from mine, inching closer each day like a shark circling prey. It was a power move, daring me to keep my Ducati out. I'd had enough. I installed a high-def security camera on my garage, angled to catch every inch of my driveway and the street. I didn't brag about it, better to have proof quietly. That camera became Susan's downfall. That Sunday, I was glancing at the live feed on my phone when I saw her Range Rover creep up. She stopped dead in front of my house, staring at my parked Ducati. Then, my jaw dropped as she cranked the wheel and gunned it, smashing into my bike with a crunch that echoed like a gunshot. I sprinted outside, pulse racing, to find my Ducati in ruins and Susan peeling away. My neighbor Tom jogged over, eyes wide. "Tell me you got that on tape," he said. I nodded, pulling up the footage of crystal-clear proof of Susan's crime. "Upload it," Tom urged. "She's been bullying everyone for years, but no one's caught her like this." I posted the VY Deo to the neighborhood's social media page, and it exploded. Thousands of shares in hours. By nightfall, local news was blowing up my phone, dubbing it the Ducati debacle. Susan, unfazed, told a reporter at her doorstep, "As HOA president, I uphold standards. That bike was a hazard. These roads are mine to manage." Her arrogance was her undoing. That claim was legally nonsense and proved she meant to do it. The next morning, I filed a police report backed by 7 neighbors who'd seen the aftermath. Each had their own Susan horror story years of her HOA tyranny. The cops watched my footage, took statements, and tallied the damage. Dula 8,000, a felony. By noon, a cruiser rolled up to Susan's pristine lawn. I was outside with my insurance guy when she stormed out in a designer tracksuit, face twisted with rage. "This is outrageous," she shrieked as cops cuffed her. "I'm the HOA president. That bike broke the rules." The officers, unmoved, read her rights. "The road's mine," she yelled, neighbors gathering, some smirking openly. "I control it." Her reckoning was swift. At her arraignment, the judge tore into her claim that HOA power let her destroy property. Bail was due law $25,000, with a 100-yard restraining order from me. The DA, smelling a headline, pushed hard. Susan got 18 months probation, full restitution for my bike, extra damages, and 200 hours picking up trash on the streets she owned. The HOA held an emergency meeting, and Susan, expecting to slink back into power, was blindsided. The board voted her out unanimously. Her face went beet red, her mouth flapping like she'd been slapped. Her reign was over. My Ducati's repairs were covered, and Whispering Pines felt lighter, like a storm had passed. Susan's fall was the talk of the town, and that camera saved the day. But it makes you wonder, how far would you go to stand up to a bully like Susan? Was her punishment too harsh? Or did she get off easy? Should HOAs have that much power, or are they just playground for petty tyrants? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll get you fired up. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story on Store of Good Stories. If this story touched your heart or made you think, don't forget to hit like and share the video to spread this positive message to more people. And if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the meaningful stories we share every week. Your support is the biggest motivation for Store of Good Stories to keep bringing heartfelt and valuable stories to you. See you in the next video. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story on Store of Good Stories. If this story touched your heart or made you think, don't forget to hit like and share the video to spread this positive message to more people. And if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the meaningful stories we share every week. Your support is the biggest motivation for Store of Good Stories to keep bringing heartfelt and valuable stories to you. See you in the next video.